My memory of it, anyway, was always full. It probably wasn't, but I certainly sort of remember teeming people in there and queuing all the way around the corner. Every time you went to see a film, you queued hugely for half an hour to get in.
It didn't change the way it operated. It didn't bend towards, normality or being totally mundane. It stayed as a fully functioning 1960s cinema.
To 66 Bridge Street, Newport, and the ABC Cinema has its grand opening. A completely new building engineered to replace the Lyceum Theatre, an architectural feature in Newport for the past century. ABC boasts it's the most advanced cinema in Great Britain. At a cost of £250,000, 1,300 seats and the largest screen in Wales, I can see why. The first film will be Tommy Steele in Half a Sixpence, a jolly affair for all the family.
If I had all that money could buy, if you had all that money could buy, if you had all that...
When I was a kid, even when you were at kids' films, your parents were smoking all around you, and the smoke used to drift up and catch the light coming from the projector. It's like the Northern Lights. You had this flickering thing over your head, and there it was on the screen, so it was magical. And for me, it was like entering another universe. I'll never forget the opening of Star Wars. The spaceship just went over the top of the screen and just kept coming, and the sound was unbelievable, this rumble. And the spaceship, and it was real, you could see it, and it just kept coming and coming and coming. And I'll never forget that moment, never ever forget seeing that film.
I had my first interview there for a management position, which would have been 1973. So it holds very strong memories for me. I think it was something to see the manager of a cinema in the foyer. Yes, I think it's gone. I think those days have gone now. Obviously, I mean, I used to go there when it opened. Again, in my time, there was a number of what I would have called epic movies being shown. Dr. Zhivago, Zulu. And you could do reruns because there was no availability for video or DVD. So a film could come around maybe 4 or 5 years after you'd shown it, and you could show it again and still have a completely new audience for that film. On a very big popular blockbuster, they would queue from the entrance doors and virtually used to wrap itself back around to the front doors. I think the biggest one was probably The Exorcist when it opened because of the publicity it generated. And I certainly remember, I think in the first week, maybe the first 4 or 5 days, it was something like 8,000 admissions. Yeah, it's some going. Well, I think it was an event to go to the cinema as well, because of the presentation of the film, starting with the adverts, the familiar Pearl and Dean opening music. Then you had your either a supporting film, maybe lasting 25-30 minutes of a travel log, or a documentary style film, and then the main film. It was an event. Then you had your intervals, promoting the ice cream, hot dogs, now available in the foyer of the cinema.
I have always had an interest in photography, and I've always enjoyed going to the cinema to watch films. I can remember queuing around the block to see Jurassic Park, and being in the auditorium when it was absolutely full. Because of the wooden flooring, if the whole cinema jumped, you would actually feel the floor moving. So at one stage in Jurassic Park where one of the dinosaurs jumped out, everyone jumped at the same time and you could actually feel the floor move. It was quite extraordinary. You did get a real atmosphere in there.
Dr. Gordon, I want to play a game.
Love horrors. Yeah. Saw 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I really enjoyed. Well, I just like to be scared. I just watch them and watch the gory and the blood and guts hanging out, especially with Jigsaw. And that was a good film. It really was.
I remember talking to one of the projectionists when he used to work at the ABC cinema, and he said that most of the equipment in the projectors was there from the 1960s.
If you've laced a film up on a projector and it's ready for screening, you've only got that one chance to get it right.
There's something about the sound of the projectors, all the lights being reflected off the walls, and the projectionist rushing round trying to get everything started on time.
It's still, I think, when you've got a full house, it's a certain buzz in it then, I must admit, you know, to know you're showing a film to a full cinema. It can get very disheartening if you've got half a dozen people in night after night.
When it first opened, it was sold as come to our cinema because it was the biggest screen in Wales. On the last day, it felt like peaceful. It felt like if you found out that someone's died.
It is a very special building to me. I'm 40 years old, the cinema is almost 40 years old, and it's always been there all through my life.
I was asked to switch off screen one, and it was like they're knocking a life support machine off.